How you doing?
Tony.
I'm Greg.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
How
you.
are you?
I think we've talked before.
I think we have. Yeah, have a seat.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Some pretty big doings going on.
I heard.
Back in Williamson County. Just want to make sure everybody's all set. You know, they have a limited amount of time,
Yeah.
so we've got a number of things I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
First of all, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Right now I'm doing okay. You know, I heard the news and got really excited. We've been waiting for this for a while. But for the most part, I'm doing okay. But yeah, right now I'm okay.
I know you've said this from day one, but can you just reiterate, you are not guilty?
Yeah, I know I'm innocent. I definitely am. Yeah, I've been keeping it from day one. I knew that there was some misunderstanding with the whole how I took the time that I did after I got guilty, but I think I explained that a little bit. But you want me to explain it again?
No, I mean,
Okay.
Basically, how, in your mind, how did all of this happen? Was it a mistaken identity, or?
You know, at first, I truly believed that nothing happened, and I stuck on that for a very long time. As time went on and my private investigation kind of unfolded, I figured out that wasn't the case, and that completely blew my mind. You know, and I kind of talked to my attorney, and I decided not to so much talk about the new suspect in general, but yeah, no, for the longest time I thought nothing happened, and now new stuff's come up with the Texas Rangers, and now I'm just waiting to see when all the truth comes out.
Do you believe that you were unfairly targeted by the police early on?
I do. You know, I believe that since I had the credentials as an athlete that I did, they targeted me more as a suspect because of my athletic ability, my scholarships that I had, and I believe that I didn't have a fair investigation. You know, I believe I was unfairly targeted.
When you say you didn't have a fair investigation, what do you mean?
You know, the police officer, the guy who was assigned to my case, he never interviewed me. He never brought me in. He never talked to me. He didn't even spend 1 second with me. He believed he didn't need to. You know, and I was willing to talk to him, but he never really reached out to talk to me at all. So I believe that was a huge red flag. I don't believe that they did a proper investigation, because after I've seen what he investigated, he barely, let's say, really even put his hand into the crime scene of where this supposedly happened. So.
They didn't visit the crime scene?
I think they did, but from what I was talking to my attorney about, is that to let me know that he didn't go a lot. There wasn't a proper investigation. And but what really stood out was that he never even talked to me.
And you were willing?
I was willing, yeah.
So, how did you come to kind of rethink about this? Because from day one, you did not believe it happened, that this child was not assaulted. What made you, within yourself, think, and at what point did you think, well, wait, maybe he was assaulted by someone else?
When I heard when the guy's name kept popping up, and when some videos came forward, and some people came forward stating his name, that's where I started rethinking everything, and I really had to sit down and really just tell myself, okay, what if this did happen, happen, and this and that, and it really caught me by surprise. It really, really did. And at this point right now in my life, it's like I've come to I guess you can say a realization that I need to just wait and be patient, and the truth will come out. It's already have. It's been 3 long years, and for a while my case was on cruise control for a while, and since this came out, I've become really excited because my hope is skyrocketed on going home before I'm 44.
So what do you think about the jury in this case? I mean, what's your opinion about them?
My opinion on the jury is that, seeing them and after like, I don't even know how many hours, but I believe it was like 14 or 12 hours of deliberation. It was a very long deliberation, and whenever they went out to deliberation, I had such a great feeling that I was going to go home. That this would be made right. But that wasn't so. When I remember whenever the jury, they came back in for a final question, and I believe it was the rereading of the testimony of the mother. And so when they went back, before they went back, the judge, he informed them that, that their time is running short, and that they're going to, if they don't reach a verdict, then there would be room and board in a hotel, and they would come back the next day and continue deliberating. And I believe, I can't remember the exact time, but within 20 minutes or 30 minutes, they were hung for about 12 hours. And within 20 minutes, they'd come back with a guilty verdict. And it really shook me up, because the longest time that really made me mad. Because I'm saying, why couldn't they just take another day and really think about this? Because they've been hung for a long time. And I remember I was taking my attorney's stuff out to her car, because we're thinking it's late at night, thinking that we're gonna come back the next day. And they come back and they said they reached a verdict, and here I am. So I believe that I believe that the jury, they knew the truth. Within 2 weeks, a juror came forward, stating that he or she, I don't know who it is, that they were pressured to convict, and it was stated that they believed that the state's case was trash.
Why do you think they convicted you?
I don't know. I just don't know. I really don't. I believe they were pressured by the other jurors that did believe in the victim, and believed the victim, that something happened to him, and believed that I did it. No, but I believe it was the wrong thing, and I believe that at the very end of the day, they got the wrong guy.
Let me ask you this: how did you learn from behind bars that there was another suspect? That all of these things were coming forward? Was your just attorney telling you along the way, or?
No, I learned from family members how the investigation was going.
Over the past several months.
Several months, yeah. This has been going on for quite a while. At the first time, like I said earlier, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, because you're so stuck. You're so set on nothing happened. Nothing happened, and when more stuff comes to light about something else, you know, you're like, wow, do I change? What's going on? You know, and so I had to come to grasp with that. But yeah, I kind of found out a little bit more as the evidence started coming forward.
So what do you think happened?
I don't know. I really don't know. At this point in my time in my life, I can't really answer that question. And I'm sitting here patiently, and it's been a little while, and at first it was hard to grasp this time, but you know, as I sit here, this has been the most anxious part of my life right here, is waiting to go home, because people have told me time and time again is that when your hope starts skyrocketing and your times are coming slim, time gets a little longer, you know?
So would you say this is even more anxious than the trial itself?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I've been there. I've been to a trial, and I've experienced it, and you know, when you experience things, you start becoming a little immune to the nerves, and you just don't even think about them anymore. But for the fact that I get to go out, and it's just, I don't know what physical freedom feels like anymore, you know? Like it's only been 3 years, but you know, it's just when I get out, I dream and I vision of what it's going to be like, you know? So that doesn't make me anxious. That doesn't make me anxious at all. But for the fact that the truth will prevail here, and that I actually get to go back to my family, and that there's a potential that I could be another guy that proves the judicial's wrongdoing, that to me is quite awesome. And I used to be that guy that used to look at the TV and look at guys and look at guys with my very same charge. I used to be that guy and say, man, that guy is a bad guy, you know? Lack of a better word, that guy's a bad guy. And I would have bad thoughts about him until you actually become that guy. And you're sitting there and you see everybody else talking how much of a bad guy that guy is, you know? It's changed my way of thinking a lot. It's changed I believe, my purpose in life now, and I want to do greater things.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I don't have all that planned out yet, but I do want to start advocating for wrongly convicted people. I believe that anybody who has to go through this should be a part of that in some way or form. But I just want to live a life. I want to be given my life back. I don't hold any hate in my heart. I've done away with that a long time ago. And that was probably one of the hardest things to do for me, was to let that go. You know, I want to be a husband and a father. I want to have a family. I want to have a steady career. I just want to have a normal life. But you know, I don't have my career planned out yet. But you know, I'm faithful that will all fall in place.
Wow. Can you describe what prison has been like for you?
You know, it's one of those things. You just got to be here. You know, you got to be an inmate. Don't look at it as stuff you see on TV and prison shows. It's a big waiting room. At one point, it was dangerous, but you know, laws have been passed to eliminate that stuff. And you know, I thank God that I'm on this unit. You know, I was on holiday. I was in county. Then I was in holiday, and I've been in here on this unit. You know, a lot of things have happened to me on this unit, great things, nothing bad. You know, a lot of great things has happened to me on this unit. And, you know, I choose to sit back and see that, you know.
What are some of the great things?
I develop a faith and a hope, you know. I've soul searched. I got the time to sit back and look up, you know. I've had the privilege to attend chapel classes and be poured into by a lot of mentors that are inmates that are truly changed their life. You know, when you live with a man and you live with men day in and day out, you get to see their true colors, because after a little while, a man's true character and what's in his heart will be shown after time takes its course. But you know, I've allowed myself to really gravitate towards the positive people that truly have love in their heart.
And who maybe made a mistake, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, they did something in the outside.
They did something, yeah.
Yeah.
And usually I found a bunch of my friends, it's kind of weird because I'm 22 years old, I just turned 22, and all my friends are in their 40s and their 30s, so I don't really feel like I'm in my 20s anymore. But it's these guys that have done a mistake when they were kids, that are 18, 19. And I sit back, I'm like, and I look at these guys and say, does it really take 20 and 30 years for a man to really change his heart? You know, does it take that long? Because I'm looking at these guys, and these guys, I would introduce them to my family. You know, I would love to hang out with them out in the world. You know, but then you look at some of these guys, and you're like, man, I thank God for prisons. You know, and so.
How literally do you spend your days? Do you work out?
Yeah, I decided to seek education when I got on this unit. I decided to attend a lot more chapel classes. I decided to become more devout in prayer and studying the Bible. And from that, I've became a facilitator in a few groups.
Bible study classes.
Bible studies, yeah, Bible study classes. I seek the business degree. Pretty close to finishing it.
Oh wow! From where?
From Lee College.
Okay.
They kind of cater to the Huntsville region prisons. So I seek that out. Recently, I was not able to attend college anymore because a new law that passed that affects my case. It's called the Jessica's Law, and that affects my case. And they demoted me to a classification called a G3. I was a G2. G2s are allowed to go to college. G2 are better. Anything that's below a G2, they've got to wait until they come up as a G2 to continue doing college. So I was really close to finishing, and unfortunately I got demoted due to that law that passed, and I can't attend college anymore.
Oh, wow.
And I found this out at the beginning of this year, and that really messed me up big time because I was really striving for this degree. You know, when you're in here and you have all the time in the world to sit here, and literally people that don't seek out goals in their life to accomplish, wow, there's no better time to do it. You know, you really put that thing, that goal, in a high place, and you really treasure it. And one of my goals was to go and complete my business degree. But I wasn't allowed to do that. Well, you know, it's quite funny because a few days later I figure out that I'm on the news again. So I'm really not even worried about it right now. Yeah. I've got my hope in another place right now.
So I do want to ask you, I mean, the court process is very long, can be very tough, the appeals process. It's very tough.
It's very tough. And you know what's a very interesting thing is that my case got reopened by the DA.
That's right.
That's very rare in Williamson County. Very rare. I didn't get it reopened in the appeal courts or nothing like that. It's literally the DA. you know, and that is quite awesome for me. That's quite awesome to me, you know, to know that there's change happening here, you know. But yeah, it's tough. I've got shot down twice already, by the Third Court of Appeals and the criminal courts of appeals. You know, after that stuff happens, you know, year after year, I've reached a real low point in my life. You know, there's hard days in here. There's really hard days, especially when you receive bad news, and you're sitting there, and if you don't really take captive your thoughts, you allow them to dwell, and that will start producing bitterness in you. And I've experienced it. And I've had to take captive those thoughts. You know, but it's a hard deal, because when all you want is the truth to come out. When all you want is the truth to come out, you get shot down. And it's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that so many things were taken from you. So, you know, like to elaborate more on the last question you asked, I get my mind off that stuff. You know, I would like someday to sit down when I'm out in the world, I'm free. I'd like to sit down and just talk to some of these exonerees and just see it on their way, because, you know, they might be feeling, they've probably felt the same way I did, but I want to talk to these guys that have been here 30 years. I want to know, you know, what made you go that 30 years? I've only been in 3, but 30 years, you know.
What makes you feel confident that this time will be different?
I believe that new eyes are brought forward to my case. I believe that the media has a lot to do with it. The media has helped me a lot to get my case out there to people that want to support me, or people that don't know, and they're seeking this out, and they're actually, because of the media, they got to see this and say, you know what, I'm gonna look into this. This is some really crazy stuff. Let me look into this, and they look into it and they make a decision. You know, I mean, that's what we do. We weigh the options and we make the decisions. Weigh the evidence and we make a decision. And so the media has a lot to do with it. I think that now the media is back into it. Things will be a little different. More eyes are going to see it. More voices will be brought forward. You know, I'm informed that my county has put in a tip line where, if anybody, for the people that do put their eyes on this case, get their eyes put on this case, if they know any tips, they would come forward.
Can you right now issue a personal appeal for people if they have information to call?
I would very, very greatly ask them to do that if they know anything, that they would call, please. But I believe as time goes on, I believe that if anybody does know anything, if the truth's in their heart, and they have anything in their heart that they need to bring forward, that they would listen to themselves, that they would listen to their heart and they would come forward.
So I know I asked you this earlier, but you really don't have your own theory of, you know, the 4-year-old just got it wrong, or, you know, it all makes sense to me now. It sounds like you don't have that moment yet.
I don't have that moment yet. I can only imagine what he's going through. You know, I've made a goal that I would pray for him, because
The
child, that just for the fact to know that they'd have to go through it again, and it really shakes me up, because but I'm not on that theory yet. I don't have a specific thing yet, but, you know, as I sit here I've got my faith and my hope in something that's greater than me, that the truth will come forward. And you know what? Someday when I'm sitting out there, I can sit back and I can really, really know what happened. That I would have closure as well as the victim. A lot of people don't know is that when when an innocent man is in prison, they are a victim as well. So I believe that there's two victims here now. And so I'm just gonna let time take its course, and I wanna, and someday we're all gonna know the truth here.
I know you said that well, I just want to ask, and you can tell me if you don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
How did you know Jonathan McCarty?
I'm not going to talk about Jonathan right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Someday I will, but I've been talking to my attorney, and I don't think it's the right time since he's being investigated. But that will come. There'll come a day where I will.
Okay. I was going to also ask you, just in terms of your daily life here. I mean, for people who have not been in prison. So you do a lot of prayer, you facilitate the groups.
I think I didn't elaborate this as well, but I've decided to get serious with my fitness because here in prison, out in the world, I had the supplements and I had the nutrition to really help out my athletic ability and really implement that into my scholarships. But in here I don't have that type of nutrition. In here we get fed something like a high schooler would get fed, or a middle schooler would get fed, and I would understand that because it's a mass people that you're trying to feed. So I decided to get serious with my health because if unfortunately I had to look at 25 years right now, and so I was like, you know what, I got to keep myself healthy. Because I know the things that I eat and the things that I do as a 20 and 30-year-old will start showing when I'm 50 and 60, the chronic part of health. So, I decided to start going to rec and started just making a goal to really reach my full potential on my athletic abilities, because I have hope that I'm going to get out and continue with my athletic career.
Yeah, what would you like to do?
I would like to I like to try to go back to football. I really love the sport. I have a huge passion for it.
In what capacity could you go back?
I mean, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna request, talk to the colleges that I once had. I had UTSA, I had State, I had Rice, Texas State, I had Rice. But the colleges that I had, I'm gonna go back and talk to them and see if I can. They give me the opportunity to even walk on. And I don't know what the future has for me. I've been told something before, is that usually the things that you want to do are not necessarily the things that you need to do or you're going to do. Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer that I live day by day, but I still have goals in my life, things I want to reach. I do want to play football again. I do want to be an athlete. But for the most part, I just want to see what life has for me, I do want to be involved with prison ministry. I want to come back too. Hopefully that I get the privilege of doing that, and the state of Texas will allow me to do that, and come and just hang out with these guys, because I've noticed ever since the news came out, it's supplied a lot of hope to some of these guys that are fighting their case too, that are trying to go home or prove their innocence. So it's produced a lot of hope for them. So just to see them come back once they saw me in white, to come back in different clothes, it's gonna just it's going to produce a lot of hope for them.
What were your plans when you, I mean, this all started when you were barely a senior in college. Sorry. Or excuse me, a senior in high school.
What were my plans? I was committed to go play for University of Texas San Antonio. I committed a month before. I verbally committed a month before the accusations came apart. I committed in June, and the accusations came of July of 13. But I was looking forward to go play ball in college, go be a college student, get a degree. I wanted to get kinesiology. I wanted to get a kinesiology bachelor degree, and I had a dream of being a coach. I still have that dream of being a coach. I still have a dream of being a counselor, get into ministry, just do a lot of good. I want to do a lot of good for the world. And I had the privilege, and I can't even say it's a privilege, it's kind of like a paradox, to really sit back and just really, really soul search on who Greg Kelley is. I believe that if you don't really, really ask that question of who you are, it's going to be hard to do time in here.
So then you tell us who is Greg Kelley.
Okay, Greg Kelley, a Christian man. I'm an innocent man. I was in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I have a desire to do a lot of good in the world. I want to be a husband and a father with Christian morals and principles and values. I want to shed light to a lot of wrongdoing in Texas. I want to supply hope for the falsely convicted. And I just want to be the best that I can be. That's who I am.
When you say a lot of wrongdoing, can you just elaborate on what you...
Yeah, people that didn't get a fair trial, didn't get a fair look at their case, maybe people that have got too much time for if they did do the case. People that I know one guy specific. I'm not gonna say his name, but sure. He falls under something called the law of parties, and just because he didn't do something that the DA told him he needed to do, he got a capital life sentence for it. He's been here 20 years. A very, very good friend of mine. It's terrible, because a part of his case saying that they will kill him if he doesn't do this. Not the DA said that, but the people that actually did the crime. He was there, but he never did it, and they know he didn't do it, But he got a capital life sentence because the DA told him, man, you need to save these people, you need to save these people. But just because he didn't say it, and he didn't do the crime, he got a capital life sentence for it. And it's very, very, very sad to read these guys' court documents, and for me to weigh the option, to weigh the evidence, and for me to believe that they're innocent, and to see that they've done 20 years already. They don't have the financial help. They don't have the voice backing them like I do. So when I got into prison, I asked myself, why me? I asked God, why me? Why me? Why do I have to come here, as an innocent man? And when I have huge hope of leaving here, now it's like me getting in a car and driving off and seeing all these guys that I've got to hang out with that have told me about their case, and me believing, man, you're innocent, man. I believe in my heart that you are. to see them in my rearview mirror. Now I ask myself, why me? Why me? Why do I get the financial help? Why do I get the voice? Why me? When these guys are looking at me and they're waving by at me in the rearview mirror. You know, there's an answer to that, and I'm gonna find it. I really, really am. And that's why I want to do good. That's why I want to come back. It's for those men. I just need the opportunity to.
Do you get a lot of visitors, a lot of mail?
Yeah, I do. A lot less than when I first started. I was getting like 50 letters at a time at one point. But, you know, it's died down. You know, people live everyday life. I try my very best to write back. You know, I'm so busy teaching fitness classes, and it's not like, I mean, I go to rec and I train guys. It's not like classes.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, doing that and going to work and doing studies and just living a life in here, you know, it got really hard for me to reply to people, and I'm sorry if I didn't reply, because there's been like at some points I get no less than 10 pieces of mail a day.
Wow.
So I had to understand time management and start writing people back and take that part out of my day and do it. But for the most part, yeah, I got people come visit me. I have my mom that comes whenever nobody else does. I get a visit every weekend. I'm blessed to have that.
From her or
from my whole family. I've got my visitation list maxed out on people, and I had to go so far into cycling them, you know, because I had friends that come that want to be on it too. Very, very great friends of mine. That want to come, so I kind of pencil them in, and every 6 months we get to change it. So whoever's next in line, I put them in there, you know. So I've had friends come and visit me, not as much as my family though. I got my brothers coming if my mom doesn't come, and just to know that they take the trip, you know how far it is to take the trip every weekend. I'm blessed to have family like that. I really am. Because there's only a handful of people that get visits like that in a unit, that have family that just love them like that. You know, it's true love. I remember one person told me a story one time when they're on the unit up in North Texas in the Panhandle, and he was standing there one time, and he lived in a dorm where you could see people walking in to visit, and he said it was a real snowy day one time, and he saw a woman with a walker walking to visit. Snowy, only person. Wow. They almost canceled all visits. But he said he saw that. He said that's true love right there, because she was visiting her son every weekend to see that.
So your unit, is it a special unit for, is it like a special religious unit or something?
No, it's not. It's the wind farm. It's a very old unit, you know, very old unit. At one point, this was a very, very, very big working farm. This unit has industries. I work in industry. I work in the tag plant. We make license plates.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, we're the tag plant license plate factory is the only factory in the state of Texas that makes license plate. I specifically work in the personalized license plates area.
Wow.
So if anybody has a personalized license plate, my coworkers have made it. I've only been there for about a few months, 2 months. And then I worked in a sign shop where they make state seals and police department seals and plaques and awards and stuff. I specifically worked in the plastics area where we make plastic trays, plastic cups, plastic spoons for different type of institutions in the state of Texas.
Let me ask you this. You're obviously very hopeful. How confident are you?
Very confident. Very, very confident. I've got confidence that the truth will come forward. You know, I've been waiting for a little while. And you know, while I wait, I continue to live life. You know, I refuse to just exist in here. I refuse to sit down in that day room You know, I thought about this. I refuse to sit down in that day room and just watch the TV but don't know what I'm watching. There's many people that do that. That sit there and just watch TV, but if I ask them what they're watching, they don't know. They don't have any hope in life anymore. So, you know, I strive to keep on living life. That's the only thing I can do. You know, I've got to, you know, there's a saying. There's like a saying that I took to heart. It's, you know, you don't know what the cards that you're going to be dealt in your life, but you can play them. You know how to play them. It's your choice on how to play them. So I sit there and I try to play my cards the best that I can right now. You know. So I'm confident. I'm confident that someday I'm gonna go home.
Hey, Jay, how are you? Jay wanted to have a few minutes to.
Are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
If you want to wrap it up, I'll take the last 5 minutes. Or
Okay,
so, but
okay,
If you need more
okay.
time,
We promised. that-
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
if you need
yeah.
more time.
Okay.
Don't worry, can I reposition and
Yeah,
get a couple
yeah,
of minutes?
absolutely.
So I'm gonna take this away so that I don't drag
Yeah.
it across the floor.
Hi, Greg.
I'm still
I'm
wired
Jay.
up.
How you doing? Nice to meet you, Jay.
I'm still wired up for Sam.
Yeah.
Can I please get some?
Clipboard real quick if you guys don't mind.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Can I please get some water? My throat's kind of parched.
Jason, did Greg get some water?
I'm sure we got it.
I mean, I can go hit the water fountain if there's no water fountain around here.
Or can he hit the water fountain?
Is there one back there?
I mean, I can get some water in the sink. I just need to get my throat moisturized.
You got a cup down there? A cup?
Okay, thank you. Save it. And you and your girlfriend, y'all maintain?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't ask any of those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her to death, man. She's been such a faithful woman. She's been such a faithful woman, and she's believed in me since day one. We've grown to love what true love really is in here. You know, I asked myself a while ago, I said, what is true love? You know, is it a love that requires physical presence? You know, okay, thank you, sir. You know, is it a love that requires physical presence? You know, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know, as a teenager, I used to believe that I'd have to be there in front of somebody to love them. But for the fact that she's been here for me for 3 years, and then she stuck by my side, and she would, you know, she's in California. You know, she's a commercial dancer. She pursued her career and what she wants to do in her life, and she moved to California, and has been rewarded. Just she strived and worked for all these opportunities, and I'm just, you know, I'm old Greg sitting here just encouraging her, you know, and I'm sitting here and I'm just, man, why can't I be there? Why can't I be there for her? You know, I know she needs me by her side, but she understands. She understands that we're continuing to fight a good fight, and she's done a lot of things for me. But for the fact that she comes on when she's free and sits here and we get to visit just like this, right over there. It sits just like this, and we get to talk and hold hands, and I get to be with her still. It's one of those things, just why me, you know?
One thing I was going to ask you, I mean, there are still police and prosecutors who still say, no, he did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
Man, it's just, you know, all that will change very soon. I believe it. I believe that there's stuff that is going to come forward. At the very end of this, there's no denying it. There's no denying it. You know, I've read countless books about exonerees who've gone through the same thing. They've had prosecutors and police that, and judges that refuse to take responsibility for wrongdoing. But I believe that stuff will come forward at the very end of this there's no way in denying it. And if they still do, it's on them. And
Gotcha.